Hi, this is Dr. Greg Brannon, the Medical Director of the Youth Institute. I'm honored to join us on our first event. Our goal is every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to do question and answers. And we're going to talk about what you're interested in. It's like a consult, you and I are together. We're going to be getting questions coming through. We honor and ask them as you direct this talk tonight. But what our ultimate goal is that we want to educate. I really believe knowledge is power. And when you hear all these conflicting comments concerning, it doesn't have to be healthcare or testosterone, it can be every different things. We know this politically, we know this historically, we know this by watching our media. So therefore I think the most important aspect of life is liberty. And I believe liberty demands knowledge and it demands effort for us to do our work. And I'm hoping that we can help guide you in that direction. We're going to talk about bioidentical hormones. We're going to talk about the difference between testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, the balance of those. One phrase you will not hear me use. You will not hear me use the word testosterone as a male hormone and estrogen is a female hormone. No. They're human hormones. There's over 3,000 enzymatic functions, bodily functions in women that's caused by testosterone. And without estrogen, men don't have the blood flow to the brain and the heart. There's a balance of all these in each of us. So what we're going to try to do is talk simplistically as well as detailed. And today I want to go over a couple of papers in a moment. Called the Androgen Deficiency and Mitochondrial Dysfunction, Implications for Fatigue and Muscle Dysfunction and Insulin Resistance, Diabetes, and Cardiovascular Disease. Yeah, nerdy stuff. This is from Boston University. We have another paper talking about the same aspect of this from the University of Spain. See, this is what we're talking about is this. Our bodies are complex, amazing adapters, and the environment is our foe. It's attacking us. I'm going to go over a couple examples of that first. Actually, this Monday, July 17th to 17, one of the major lab companies actually changed the criteria of what normal testosterone is in a male. You think, but why, Greg? When I was in training 30 years ago, normal values were 700 to 1200. Then they changed it about 15, 20 years ago, 350 to 1100. Monday, a normal male, regardless of age, over the age of 18, instead of being 800, 900, anything over 264. So they're actually eliminating an epidemic by changing the criteria. When I was in training, women's testosterone, you only look for a reason if it was over 200. Now we say a woman 45 years of age, 8 or 9 is normal. If a hormone has over 3,000 enzymatic functions in the body, there must be an optimal number. There must be an amount that actually is beneficial. Just because something is common does not make it normal. So we're going to talk about the benefits. We're going to talk about the risks. We're going to talk about the difference between a structure that is synthetically made, it's synthetic and formed in the body, versus a structure that's identical to what your body makes. That's what's very important to understand the confusion out there. The apparatus, how it's applied. Applied as a gel, an injection, a pill, or a pellet that actually mimics the testicle ovary, identical to your body's endocrine functions. I'm hoping, again, I can say it in a way that we can articulate it, but spurs you on to do your research. We're updating our website, actually June 1st of this past year, where we're going to have a blog section where you can actually type in keywords and you can find the research papers yourself. See, we want to run to science, not away from science. We're not afraid of this. We know something's happening when 66% of Americans, yes, 66% of Americans are overweight or obese. When metabolic syndrome or PCOS, these diseases of high insulin resistance, adipose weight, high blood pressure, we're 3-4% of our population, now it's 40-50% of our population. Something's going on. So what we're hoping for is to go the science, nerdy way we need to, but the simplistic way of how it actually functions in your body today. So while we're waiting for some questions tonight, if we have some, is I want to go over aging. There are key words we're going to talk about. One is called mitochondria and one is called telomeres. And how testosterone strengthens both of those and what those functions are. Mitochondria is literally the powerhouse in each cell. In each cell, you have this mitochondrial function between 15 and 2,500 of these little basically the powerhouse of the cell. And these actually make the currency or the fuel of our body called ATP. ATPs are like I said, the economy of the cell. And how that's formed is the energy source is used to actually produce energy for the cell. Well, what happens is testosterone enhances that. When the mitochondria is actually dysfunction or slow down, aging occurs. See, what they do is oxidation and phosphorylation is how you actually make energy. And I'm sure you heard of the word called free radicals. Free radicals are the byproducts of that. So we need higher testosterone to do two things. When you have your testosterone at suboptimal levels, which these papers talk about, you have higher insulin resistance. What does that mean? You have more sugar floating around your body. What happens to those cells is this. We heard about this phrase called hemoglobin A1C. That's what diabetics measure to see how high their sugar's been for how long it's been high. So these extra glucose molecules actually bind to the structure, the red blood cell, to make the red blood cell less efficient at what it does. Well, the extra sugar does not just bind to red blood cells, it binds to heart and brain and muscle. And inside the cellular level, literally called glycosylation, literally to the mitochondrial functions, which slows it down. So as we showed that therefore increases diabetes, which then increases cardiovascular disease in men who have low testosterone with diabetes. That's what that paper goes over. So when we look at that is, I'm not saying it's anti-aging, but what happens is when the mitochondria is not functioning correctly, we age faster. Also, mitochondria has a very important function. It's called apoptosis. What it does is it knows how to kill a cell when it's time for that cell to go away. Think about your body when cells grow uncontrollable. Again, those are dysfunctioned when our testosterone levels are lower. Again, this is just one little aspect of how detailed this really is, because you think about it. Testosterone is formed, get this guys, from the precursor cholesterol. A 27 carbon chain structure. We hear how bad cholesterol is, or read the current literature. The lipid hypothesis has been poo-pooed. It is not true. 1/3 of every one of our cells is made out of cholesterol, and it's the precursor to cortisol, testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. So without that, we don't even have a sex hormone or endocrine system without that cholesterol. Also, we know that statins destroy coenzyme Q10, which affects the mitochondrial level. Again, lowers our testosterone and estrogen and progesterone balances. I don't want to sound like nerdy on that, but that's how important this is to understand these functions. So when we can study the science of it, we can look at our bodies. We know that when your testosterone level is optimal in both men and women, your fat percentage is decreased, your heart works better, your brain works better, your musculoskeletal system works better. It is an overall, again, the gasoline or engine is generated from our testosterone, which helps mitochondria work. Another thing we hear, any questions yet over there? Another question we have is this, but it causes cancer. And this one I'm going to spend a lot of time on during the weeks to follow. Does it cause cancer? We hear about that in men. It causes prostate cancer. Let me take my time to go through this. Dr. Higgins in 1941, the world famous urologist from Harvard, wrote the paper that says testosterone causes an increase in prostate cancer. Well, Dr. Morgenthau at Harvard, he went back and reviewed that paper, and I actually went back and read it as well. The study has 3 men to study. That's how big the classic paper is, 3 men. And those 3 men, he kicked 2 men out of the study. Only 1 man was in the study. Now, in that study of 1 man, all we hear now is it causes prostate cancer. Well, in that study, that 1 man who stayed in the study, he already had prostate cancer, was already castrated, meaning he had no testosterone, and that man had spread. So Dr. Morgenthau went back and did his paper in early 2000s, where he had 14 men with proven prostate cancer by biopsy by himself. He gave all of them, regardless of stage, testosterone pellets. 2.5 years later, he biopsied them. 56% of the men had no evidence of prostate cancer. The other 44% were the same size or smaller. In the study showed the problem who got prostate cancer are those who were low T and high E. Low T, testosterone, high estrogen. So the paper is really, really important on looking at the actual facts so we can have information for ourselves to make what's best for us. We go through breast cancer. We hear about breast cancer, the famous WHI study showing that menopausal hormones cause breast cancer. Well, that paper is very interesting. It's synthetic female pregnant horse urine was the estrogen with over 212 foreign horse estrogens and synthetic progesterone. Dr. Finira in Paris did 2 studies, one with 56,000 women, one with 84,000 women. When he gave the women bioidentical progesterone, it decreased from 0 to 10% of breast cancer, while those who were on the synthetic Provera had an increase of 69%. So we've got to understand our definitions. Your body would not make a hormone or a chemical that would actually be harmful to you. That makes no sense. So therefore, when these levels are optimally balanced, that's when you are optimally balanced at your best. So what we want to do now is we just promoted this just for one day. We're going to be promoting this on our Facebook, on our email list, hopefully for those who share this on our Facebook, so that we come next Thursday, 8 o'clock, we'll go for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever in that range of questions that you deem. I will go over the details of the nerdy papers. We'll go over the symptoms, the signs that relate to you. But we're hoping that this literally is driven by you. I work for you. The Youth Institute's for you. We want you to know how to take care of your health. Not these fad diets, not these fad pills. We're not born with Zoloft deficiencies. Understand what the environment is doing to this wonderful adaptive machine we have called our body. So, the Youth Institute, our goal is to be personalized, to hear your story. Our consultant is, that consultation time is yours. We listen, we find a dose that's for you, if you fit it. There are people that may not need this. This is not a one-size-fits-all. And we'll go through the science of that, and I really hope you look at some of our reviews. I love you bringing papers. I love you bringing scientific data. Pro or against, I want to hear it all. But my goal is to answer as many questions as possible for you to find you in the right cause. Not that we'll never age, but age gracefully. That's what this is about. Because 100 years ago, we walked around with higher levels for a reason. We are less adipose for a reason. Diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia. For a reason, we're lower. And you look back at the cellular level, what I just talked about, those chronic diseases are because of mitochondrial dysfunction and other things as well. And the enhancement of that is low testosterone. Our body is so interchanged with all these enzymatic reactions, we have to understand the complexity, be it the simplicity of it. Something foreign is not good. Something identical is optimal. So that's our goal. I'm hoping you enjoy this. I know I talk fast. I have passion about this. I just want you guys to lead us, and I'll ask any question you have. We'll talk about diabetes and prostate cancer and breast cancer and menopause and osteopenia and osteoporosis. We'll talk over the science of how those occur, what the treatment is medically, or how your body can even be better with optimal hormonal balance. So that's the Youth Institute. You get a chance. My book called Back to Basics. Revitalize your body with bioidentical hormones. It's out there on Amazon. You can get it there or come by the office, those who live in Cary. We would like you to, it's a book about stories, books about how it works scientifically. And my assistant here will give me the book so I can show you guys that. So here's our book. It was not my idea to be in the front, but that's it. It's black and white because what's interesting is the first time a paper was published on pellets was in a British journal of 1935. This is not something new. And because the color is to take it, we're taking it back. Basically, old-fashioned medicine the modern way. All right? So that's what we do tonight. I see we have no questions here tonight. Please, those who are watching this, share it. Go on. It will be 8 o'clock Eastern. And this will be looping on our Facebook as well. And our goal is eventually to make this into a podcast and be a essential area for information. If any questions, email us, message us on the Facebook. But I want to thank you for joining us. This is Greg Brannon at the Youth Institute. Have a great evening.